Okay. Let's do this. It's me, Ken Erik, and the late adopter for the very first time, and we are actually trying out something new. I hope it works. No technical difficulties.
Already technical difficulties. Just a second.
That's okay.
No, we're fine. We're fine. Wait. 3, 2, 1. There we go. We live. Me as well.
Wow, cool.
I hope it
Yeah.
works well now. I hope it works well. Hello, Kryptovaluta Norge. How you guys doing?
We are doing okay. We got even people in the chat already. And we
There's
got one of you.
one thing I forgot to do before we start, but I can do it now. So, Ken,
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce you in a second to my audience. If you just give me a second, just so I can tell people about the stream.
Let's pump the stream.
Let's pump the stream.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if notifications are going out for the stream. I hope they do.
You see, and the moderators are already bullying me already because I put you on the wrong side again. But it will sort itself out as soon as the late adopter share his magical TA bombastic.
This is the very first time I'm doing a live stream with anybody, so I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but
Oh,
that's
we are
life.
Yeah, that's that. What is it called? Learning by trying and failing, and the more you fail, you better you get at it.
Something like that.
Yeah. Wow, we got people from Trondheim. We got people from Turkey here now. Wow, decenter plant. What's up? We're all good. We're all good. We are floating on technical difficulties, but
There we go.
We are go for launch.
I'm ready. Okay.
Okay.
So, guys, I can introduce the guy that you'll see on the screen right now. This is Ken from Kryptovaluta Norge. So the way I met this guy, or the way I heard about this guy, is here in Norway. There was this newspaper, local newspaper, that was writing about him. And I was like, hey, man, I know this guy. Ken actually, I think it's a funny story, so you can maybe tell the story. He bought a broken cup for 1,000 Bitcoin. When was it? What year was that?
It was the late 2010.
Late 2010, he broke a broken cup for 1,000 Bitcoin. So everybody heard about the guy that bought. Everybody heard about guy that bought, 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin, right? This is the guy that bought broken cup for 1,000 Bitcoin. So he's been around, for a very, very long time. He knows all kind of fundamentals. He's very, very into the NFT space and, DeFi, anything that has to do with, crypto. He's also a moderator on Facebook, biggest Facebook, Norwegian crypto page, right? Kryptovaluta Norge has as well. So, Ken, without further ado, tell us the story about the cup. You can start with that.
Okay. Thank you so much for fantastic introduction and for allowing me to and my community to join your community and your space on YouTube. So the story about the cup. Let's go to the fundamentals. So back in the days, there was a huge raid on different websites that got hacked. And the reason why it got hacked is because it has a lousy hashing algorithm on how they store the passwords on the website. And there were a few guys. I was on. How can I say it? Let's say that it was just a bunch of curious guys that we were like together in like a mailing list. What's the thing? And the IR milk, what is called back in the days. And then this guy says, "Oh, there's something called SHA-256." And for those who don't know, SHA-256 is like the fundamental and what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin. so secure, among other things. So we were like, oh, so if we have just discovered a faulty hashing algorithm, perhaps this one is faulty as well. So we just went to this website, SourceForge. It's called back in the days. It can today you can compare it with GitHub, and we
Yeah.
downloaded this fancy piece of software, which was lousy and very buggy. It was called Bitcoin Core, and you have in your Windows menu today, you have like file options, and an option you have a box you can tick it off, like generate new coins. Wow, that's cool. So we did that. I I had my first computer since I was 6 years old. So I was curious about everything about computers. I've been gaming and playing. So I've spent probably way too much money on computers. Mining, what I didn't know in the beginning, actually, I was mining Bitcoin then when I hooked this box.
So you didn't actually know you were mining. You're just mining it like,
In the beginning, we didn't know jack shit.
okay.
You know, that we were
Okay.
just we didn't read the white papers, we didn't know anything. We were just playing around. So back in the days, this sounds like people probably throw up about it, but it's like it was feasible to mine like a couple of hundred bitcoins a week. You know, that was no stress.
Couple of hundred bitcoins a week.
um, so and then we had this pizza guy, you know.
Yeah.
We read about this software on a Bitcoin talk. It was a discussion forum. Uh, and then there was this guy. He announced that he was hungry, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, and then he was hungry for a couple of pizza, and nobody wanted to send him any Bitcoin for pizza. And then a couple of days later, he posted again, like, "Is my offering too low?" It's like this is supposed to be the next payment solution, you know, for the world, which we believed at the time, and we didn't believe. Actually, it was what we were told. It was just so experimental, you know,
Yeah.
and the software were crashing, and we were a lot of people were actually quite annoyed of this stupid software. And then this guy suddenly got his pizza. He posted a picture along with his kid, and I thought, what a stupid idiot. And then yeah, well, long story short, the reason why he did this was because Bitcoin didn't have any fundamental value at the
No,
point.
no, no, of course.
It was just like entering a number on the calculator. You know, that's how much
Mhm.
value it was to me.
Yeah.
But
I think it will be like in the future, people will be like, "Oh my God, you bought, Ferrari for Bitcoin. What you're crazy?" Because
yeah,
Bitcoin might be like 10 million worth, and you just bought, a Ferrari for a couple of Bitcoins, whatever, right? So and maybe in 10 years, people look back and is, "Oh, you bought a Ferrari for Bitcoin. What? You crazy?"
so I thought, what the heck? I want to try it out as well. So thing, you could actually buy at a certain point there. I remember, because, you could actually go to this very shady website. You had to be verified PayPal user, and you can copy your wallet address into the message field, and you can send some money, and then you just cross your fingers and hope that the guy could send you some Bitcoin. And it was like 0.01 or something like that.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
long as you can cover uh, cover my cable, you know, just like ridiculous low.
Yeah.
And he had some fancy cups, and I found a white one with a yellow, orange back then. logo, and lucky as hell I was, I got the coffee cup, but unfortunately it was broken.
A
And
broken cup for 1,000 Bitcoin.
yeah. So and to be quite honest, I haven't, I didn't think so much about it back then, but I just thought it was like funny that someone would like to send me something, physical item that cost them money to manufacture and produce,
Yeah.
and basically all I had done is letting my gaming computer having this SourceForge program open.
Yeah.
And then and but it's, for me it was a very good thing that I actually got this broken cough cup, because
Yeah.
if it hadn't been for that, I probably would have put the whole thing away. It wouldn't have any value. Then I started to investigate. Then I started to read the white paper, and then I got so fascinated over, let's say, what's called the consensus mechanism of Bitcoin. I didn't realize at the beginning. Uh, I heard about, let's say, cash and stuff like that, and those guys got arrested
Yeah.
for creating. Um, then I got very fascinated because wow, um, even though if Bitcoin not succeed with this peer-to-peer payment, this is like we actually got a thing here, and that is the consensus mechanism. You can actually send a message to, let's say, one guy, and the whole network will know that I have sent that message, and the message is signed, so the receiver and all the other guys, they can mathematically check that it's actually me.
Yeah. So that was
Uh,
that was the big thing that Satoshi saw, like double spending problem in
mm,
Bitcoin, and that's why
and
we have all of this new industry called crypto.
yeah, yeah.
There is one. The central plan is asking a question that it fits to ask right now. Who do you think Satoshi is? Because
Oh,
you've been there like way back, So who do you think Satoshi is?
yeah. Oh, here I had to load up your
No, it's
chat.
fine.
Yeah. There have been a huge debate about that, and so my personal opinion. Unfortunately, we are never able to talk to Satoshi Nakamoto because he died in 2014, and his name was Halfin. Uh,
Oh,
that's
you think
my,
it was helping?
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh, I, I don't want to make too much noise about it, because here there are guys still living today, and they are still rambling around in court and saying that there are
We know about the guy. We know about the guy.
yeah. So nobody forgotten and nobody mentioned, but that guy have still not proven to the crypto community that he is.
Nah,
Look, and
he's
he could easily have done it so easily.
he's a fraud, man. He's a fraud.
Yeah. So
The guy we're talking about is Craig Wright from
mhm,
Bitcoin SV, the
yes,
creator of Bitcoin SV, who forked Bitcoin SV. Now,
yeah,
Craig Wright, as his track record is so bad, is so full of holes, and he was there probably, by the time when the Bitcoin was created, but he was not creator of Bitcoin, that's for sure.
yeah. So
Because
there are a lot of reasons why I can
yeah,
say something, make an accusation like this, and that is so first off, Finn, he was the first to receive the transaction, uh, and there was some development, in at SwordForge, around the Bitcoin Core, and it's amazing that every time there was an issue in the Bitcoin Talk forum, and as soon as Finn had seen this and made a comment to it, it got fixed very quickly. His activity around uh, Bitcoin coincides with his death. So that's why I believe so.
okay. Well, there are a lot of good reasons for why he should be, he's Satoshi or not. I don't know. Personally, I have absolutely zero clue. The only thing I know, it is very very hard to believe that Craig Satoshi is Satoshi, not Craig Satoshi. Craig Wright is Satoshi. It's very hard to believe that, But anybody else could have been for my part. But I know, with high degree of certainty that Craig Wright is not Satoshi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Anyway, it's kind of
what about
yeah.
later up to how? So there are plenty of guys here in Kryptovaluta Norge. They are so curious. Who are you really? And how did you end up in this crypto space?
Well, without going too far back, because we don't have to go back to 2010 or something like that. Well, you know, I was running this business and I figured out I'm never gonna get rich. This was back in 2017,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, so what can I do to get really rich? And I figured like, I mean, business people, they do stocks. That's all the richest people are stocks. So I tried trading stocks and stuff like that, and that failed pretty quickly. But I heard about Bitcoin, and I
Hmm.
haven't heard about Bitcoin before then. So I gotta be honest, I haven't heard about Bitcoin. But around summer, when Bitcoin was going steadily towards up, so I heard about Bitcoin. So I started. I actually think I actually heard about it long before on a forum, but I never took it seriously. I never
Hmm.
took it seriously. So I think I heard about it before, but I was just like glimpsing, just moved on. So I never heard about it. So in 2017, I heard about Bitcoin, and then I was, instead of investing in stocks, I started looking at Bitcoin, and it was going straight up. So of course, what you do, you wait, you wait, you wait, you wait, and you buy the top, as everybody else, right? So on the top, it goes up how it has to go. It goes down, and I tried to hold and tried to researching about cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, right? And I bought this and I bought that, but everything went down. Everything went
Hmm.
down, and then I started learning a little bit technical analysis, because I could not believe that you draw certain lines on the screen and magic happens. It follows the lines. It goes above, below the lines. I was like, hey, that was a mind blowing to me,
Yeah.
because everybody, when they want to start with technical analysis, the first thing they say, like, it doesn't work, man. That's like tarot cards or some magical astrology stuff, man. You crazy guys. It doesn't work. So the first thing I did, I was the guy. I was the guy that didn't believe it. Like, are you crazy? You just draw some, and I was calling it meme lines for a very long time. I still call it meme lines, But I mean, you just draw some meme lines on the screen, and you think it's gonna, that's some kind of sport or resist or whatever. But after a while, you start, slowly drawing lines on the screen and yourself, and and the first time you draw a triangle, and then you see the price go exactly inside the triangle, when it's get extended, and you see the line bouncing between the support and resistance of the triangle. I mean,
Hmm.
that's where my mind was blown the first time. So I continue doing the technical analysis, and I'm very interested in that.
So
And
did you take some course or?
no, there's no course for this. There's a lot of YouTube videos for it.
Yeah.
I think there is maybe some kind of course for technicals, but there is none. And if there is, it's quite bad. I mean, there are a lot of people that do technical analysis that do have courses and do sell it, but it's totally useful because all the information is free. Now, the problem with taking courses, you think you're learning something correctly, well, often these other people are doing it also wrongly, because getting a technical analysis really right is really really hard. So
Mm.
we can talk about that more later, but it really doesn't matter. So anyways, I was doing technical analysis. Bitcoin was going through a bear market. I didn't have anything better to do than buy shitcoins. And right now, during this bull market, we had a lot of meme coins. But back then in 2007, 2018, 2019, we had Ponzi coins. And we call them Ponzi because that's what I want. We
And
didn't have a meme coin.
ICOs.
Yeah, no, this was after us. This was a
Oh,
legit Ponzi coins. Like, the last guy loses. You gotta be first.
yeah, yeah,
Legit Ponzi, yeah, Ponzi coins. So after that, I didn't know what to do, and I wanted to make, I saw all of these, YouTubers, doing YouTube videos about it stuff, So I want to, try that, So I took my camera, popped up, and hello, I'm the late adopter.
yeah.
And that's how I started on YouTube. So right now, yeah, this is what I do. I also got a side job, but Yeah, this is the main squeeze, that's what I like. So I'm not I did follow fundamentals a little bit before, but right now, I got 3 kids, so I cannot follow that much fundamentals, so mostly just like lines, meme lines, up down, up down. So that's my thing. That's where my interest lies. So I'm hoping that during this live stream we can talk with Ken a little bit about fundamentals of, and maybe he can educate me a little bit about NFTs, because
Mhm.
NFTs are a big space here in crypto right now, and this guy owns actually an ape.
Yeah, it's not the most valuable ape, but it is.
What's an ape?
Yeah, it's an ape. Yeah, it's still. We got some, and I also have a car. I also have. What else do I have? Yeah, I have a different that we got along the road. I'm also learning, every day. It's and that's so fun about the cryptocurrency community. You learn something new every day.
And there is something to learn every day, because technology moves so fast.
This is like a uh, it's like it grows 2 times faster than internet, and internet that was pretty fast here in Norway, at least.
Yeah. So this was also one of the reasons why I switched from stocks to crypto, is because in stocks a small dip can last 6 months plus
Mm.
to a year. Let's not talk about bear market. Bear markets are year after year after year. Like a bear market in the stocks can last for 10 years, right?
Uh,
Long bear markets, but here like dip right back up again, right? It goes so much faster, so much faster.
yeah.
So
To just like to explain about NFTs.
yeah.
Um, I will just. I'm not sure how hard I'm gonna go on you guys, but I'm gonna try to do this gentle. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
100%.
at least here in Norway, when I was a kid, we had those small glass balls that we had a competition. We were like in the schoolyard, and we were throwing these glass balls, and we had to knock out the other glass balls. And if you manage to do that, you can win more glass balls. I don't know the English.
Yeah,
Clinky
clinky
cooler.
cooler. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know English.
But uh, those that had the biggest glass ball, they were able to knock out a lot of smaller other balls. So when we before and after the competition, we're trading those balls. Um, we value those
It's called marbles. Marbles.
marbles. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We will value those marbles more. And if they had some fancy colors, that was cool. And yeah, it had properties. Uh, it's pretty hard to play marbles on the internet. So they have used the blockchain technology, and on Ethereum, we have smart contracts that actually create those marvels, and they come in a lot of different forms. We have um, just to I have a little thing here. So in the NFT space now, we have collectibles, we have music, we have art, we have game items, we have profile pictures for Twitter. We have science like DNA tests. We have licenses for, let's say, ID. We have tickets. We have social media NFTs. We have uh, NFTs that represents a venture capital firm. So there are so many use cases, and that ape that you see in my profile picture is just a very tiny part of it. And there are different blockchains. So if you look at Cardano, they are doing their twist on the NFT market over there. We have Solana. We have maybe the most famous one, Ethereum. And And for example, the ape that you are talking about, uh, for me, it's that I belong to a community, to a gang. It's like it goes to the basic psychology of the human being, that we have to be, together. We have common beliefs, common goals, and we like to do common things together. So, for example, the ape that I have, um, their goal is to push females forward in the blockchain industry. um, they also like to party, which coincidentally suits me very well, because I have like 25 years from playing
Experience.
music playing music in different nightclubs, so I kind of know how to
Yeah,
party.
I forgot to mention Ken is also DJ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, and we have this Discord where we share different alpha news, insights, share questions, people discuss. Um, and because we are this nice gang now with females, we get invited to London Fashion Week with a big party afterwards, of course. uh, we get invited to conventions in Miami, and they hire a huge yacht, and you party there too as well.
Just because you own an ape.
Exactly. And the best part, you know what it is?
What is that?
That is free bar.
Free bar.
No, and then of course the merch. No, so so that is like, and everybody that sees that, I met a lot of people, out there, and they check out my Twitter profile, and they instantly know that, you are with them,
You're with them.
those guys who like to
You are
party.
dead, motherfucker.
And then you have, maybe, should we share some alpha today? Should we share some alpha today? Some banging news? I don't know, regards NFTs.
Say, you
Uh,
have to say something there, because
yeah,
on my
you
side,
enjoyed my ApeCoin thing back in the days. It must have been at least 3 weeks now. So the
Ken, wait a second. Do you hear what the thing that I hear on the screen?
no, I don't hear anything. You got some music or something?
No, it's like somebody's talking over with some. Am I going crazy?
I'm not sure.
No, okay, just continue, just continue. Because it sounds like somebody is adding the speech to
Uh
the stream
huh.
through the auto generate talking voice. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
there
Maybe
is
you're
another
getting
voice.
hacked.
Yeah,
Are you getting
who's the
hacked?
robot? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I got, but before I talk about the ape community and more about NFT, I have a question from a Norwegian guy. Um,
Robot
uh,
voice.
do you have any later? Do you have any tips or for good people to learn TA from?
Good tips to learn T. Yeah, beside me,
Mm-mm. Uh, guys,
when it
it was an easy question.
yeah, nah, I'm trying to be humble, but when it comes to TI, it's really hard to learn TI correctly, because there will be guys that are good at one thing, but they totally miss it on the other part. There are guys that know how to use all the tools, but do not know how to analyze the charts.
Mhm.
Who is good to? There is no one guy to learn anything from. Even me, I might be good at some things, but I might be lacking on other things. The thing to learn is you do the basics, trend lines, moving averages, that's it, and then you try to analyze, try to figure out what it means to analyze the chart. Yeah, that's basically trying to figure out whether you're bullish or bearish. There is no certainty. Even when you draw the perfect trend lines and see the perfect triangle that might be 100% towards the upside, it can still go down if you don't analyze it correctly. So there is no such thing as certainty in life and tech analysis that chart for whatever reason should go one side or the other side. We just try to figure out probability to one side or other side, right? So we look at stuff goes up and we think like, oh, this looks very good, but then suddenly starts hitting some kind of levels, and suddenly you see on the chart that okay, this looks very difficult to break. and then suddenly you see maybe pull towards downside, so forth, so forth. So while the price is developing, we are trying to analyze it, based on the bullishness or bearishness, right? So right now, Bitcoin is very, very bearish. I don't know if you've been following my channel for the last couple of days, but we've been calling emergency live streams and emergency streams over here, saying that he's gonna go to some kind of 24,000, and everybody's like, no way that can happen. So even I am unconvinced. This is like one of the first time that I'm trying to call, some kind of bottom levels on something, but there are several reasons for that. But basically, we know that it's, the price is bearish, meaning that price should move towards downside until it finds some kind of bottom, and recovers. But when is that going to come? If that's going to be right now, it's going to be at 23, 24. We do not know. But learning TI is it takes a lot of practice. Like I have been ever since I started in buying Bitcoin 2017 at the top, and drawing meme lines. I've been on my screen like almost daily for years now, and watching the lines, drawing the lines, trying to figure out how the price develops. So I got very good, sense of, pattern recognition. I can just look at the chart and then suddenly I can see like, okay, there is a triangle, there is a falling wedge, there is this, there is that, head and shoulders pattern. You can see, I don't even have to open sometimes, the RSI indicator on the bottom side, because you already know how the RSI moves. So you already know there will be maybe divergence, maybe there will be overbought, oversold levels, and so forth, so forth. So learning technical analysis is not, just finding one guy that does it right. Like, you got to look at a lot of people. You got to look at a lot of charts all the time. You got to have a special interest for that. It's not enough just, open chart when you need it and just draw a couple of lines and think you know what you're doing. You're probably going to maybe draw decent lines and, you might get it right. But it's really, really hard to figure out, which side is going to go. And a lot of that comes from experience, from, trying and failing. And I failed a lot. I can tell you that right now. But trying and failing, and the times you get it right, it builds confidence. Time you get it wrong is like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get it right next time. So it moves on. So if you want to learn, just watch a lot of YouTubers that are doing it. I won't mention any kind of names, but just watch anybody. And the most important thing you should be watching is like, are they getting it right? If they say this is gonna happen, see if that happens. See if they are wrong all the time. See if they are right all the time. See if they are explaining something that indicates that they might be right in future, and then that plays out exactly as they said. Because usually the guys that are right, and nobody's right all the time, but guys that are right are quite a lot of time. They are generally, and they won't say with certainty we're going to go up and down. They've said high probability to go up or down.
Because that's what technical analysis is all about. It's probability, right?
Yeah, it's
I'm not into technical analysis. I'm just I tell the people what my stomach feeling says based on previous experience.
Yeah, so there is that. Like that's probability, right? And the good guys, they see this probability, and probability oftentimes, but they also know that it can fail. But most time, wherever they say it's gonna go, oftentimes it does push in that direction, right? So basically, a lot of experience, a lot of late nights up to until 4 5 a.m. in the morning. Then you go to bed when everybody wakes up, and stuff like that, right? And after a couple of years, you become decent at it. You learn the patterns. But let's get back to NFTs, because the thing that I want to ask you about is NFTs are big stuff, right? And NFTs, the Ape Yacht Club, what is it called?
Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Bored Ape Yacht Club. They made a coin. I don't know if they made coin. Somebody made coin. So you can explain this to me, because the reason I actually like your channel, I'm following your channel right now, and I'm following everything you say, man. I'm following everything, is because when I first found out about you, I went to your channel, and the first thing I noticed that you called Ape Coin, and you said this thing is big, it's gonna pump.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this guy knew. That was my first thought,
Yeah.
And it pumped big time. So tell us, how did you know, that Ape Coin is gonna pump?
Like, it's similar to you looking at Fibonacci. There are some certain level and some certain threshold, and it's in the same way you have in the NFT world. So you have to Bored Ape Yacht Club. You can mint one for about 1 year. Yeah, 1 year ago you could mint a Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it was a community like similar to what my ape is, and they just got together. They were chilling each other. They were hyping. They were having some fun, uh, and the only thing back in the days that you got from having and owning a Bored Ape Yacht Club was access to a bathtub, bathroom on a website, basically. But in there, they were talking and discussing and how and what to do in the future. Um, and they were extremely good at promoting themselves. So it got bigger and bigger, and everybody wants to go into that goddamn bathroom, on the website,
Yeah.
and talk with, because there were a lot of, let's say, key people in the crypto community that minted one. Um, and so things evolves, and there was like a nifty competition, between CryptoPunks, which is an older NFT project with a different background story, um, and then uh, in what is that? I'm very horrible at dates, but I think about before Christmas around there. Um, there were some guys getting together and they had this idea that, oh, we're gonna buy the intellectual property to all the biggest NFTs. What do they call this? Blue chips. They're like huge
Yeah.
NFTs. So they did. The guys, they just coughed up, well, I think 2 billion for Meebits and CryptoPunks and uh, uh, Mutant Board Ape, which is a spin-off of Board Ape Yacht Club. Basically, what they did that they gave their ape NFT serum, and it mutated to a different ape. um, and the people behind his are mighty people in the industry. You have the co-founder of Reddit. He got a little bit bored, so he jumped into the NFT space. You have some key figures from FTX exchange, uh, and I believe most of the money came from there and Reddit. And then other. So what they did, they wrote a white paper, and uh, it's, I don't know, but venture capital funds, they got access to this in around January, February,
Yeah.
and I got it leaked by accident. Um, uh,
Inside information. God damn, that's how you knew.
but still, at this point, it was kind of ludicrous, total ludicrous, idiotic to buy up intellectual property of NFT because it was just a lot of communities.
Yeah.
But what they did, they melt this community together and they're creating a use case for it. And here comes the ApeCoin into the picture. So they're coming up. They're
Yeah. So,
always
so
very, very.
what is the point with the ApeCoin? Like, what I want to do with it?
So if you want to participate in the ecosystem that the Bored Ape Yacht Club creates, that Meebits create, that um, Younger Labs, what is called, that's the head, let's say the head company for it, the
Yeah.
Younger Labs. So you can use this to influence and vote. It's what's called a DAO. You can use this your coin and you can make a proposition. Um, uh, so if you have some fantastic idea and you write a kind of tiny roadmap of how to get there and about approximately technical solution, you can put that up on their forum, and the other holders of Bored Ape Yacht Club and Ape Coins, they can vote with it. And
Okay, so that's makes sense.
so that's a tiny use case, but it's a very important one because this evolves the project according to their roadmap. So and then Monica Brands jumped on board. For those who don't know, Monica Brands is the company who they own about 150 different crypto projects among the Sandbox, the game, where we have Snoop Dogg and a lot of celebrities is and a lot of play to earn games and stuff like that. And now and here comes the alpha on Saturday. It's 6 o'clock Norwegian time. Those who have done a KYC on a website, it's called something. What was it called again? Oh my god, my brain is hurt. So on something. Oh my god, it's anyways. I think it's too late to do it anyway. So, but anyway, on this website, other side XYZ. If you have ApeCoin, you can use it to buy a land plot for a new game coming up in the ecosystem of this NFT system.
Okay, so they're building an ecosystem with the use case of ApeCoin. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
But there are big people behind it, so it
It's
has a huge growth.
tremendous, huge, and they have in this community. There are there are crypto blockchain people that are so far ahead in the game, and they are using it to create this community.
Yeah, so that's what I see. Ken expertise and experience coming to life is because he knows this kind of stuff. I don't. I always say I got 3 kids. I got life beside. I don't want to use too much time on other things because TA takes already too much time watching the charts. If I did anything else beside that, my wife would go crazy. So that's why I think having somebody like Ken, and listening to and hearing what he's his research about certain stuff, condensed research about certain stuff, it makes you a little bit smarter, because the guy does indeed can notice, what's good and what's not, where the money flows, kind of stuff, right? So not seeing ApeCoin, not seeing these people behind, going behind the ApeCoin and starting it, and stuff like that. That's big because I didn't hear about ApeCoin until it was like $10 or something like that, on the way up.
So, I'm not gonna call the top of ApeCoin, but I think it has a lot of do because they're gonna be 2 land sales now, and it's gonna those land plots are if you read the white paper, read the information that will come on the website, you will see it. It will generate income from resources on the land plot.
Okay.
And you will also get airdropped. Someone will get airdropped the new NFT in the ecosystem. And you can only imagine they created Bored Ape Yacht Club. They created Bored Ape Mutant Ape. They created Bored Ape Kennel Club. All those are freaking blue chips. They're so valuable that you can borrow against it now in the crypto space.
Yeah. It's just gonna raise
like buying a house.
Yeah. I see. But let's go a little bit. When NFT started, I always tell people like I understand. You instantly understand what NFT is. Everybody says, "Oh, it's just a JPEG," but it's not just a JPEG. Like you can sense it like in the way that like I said, in any kind of game, any kind of item, you can buy that item. It's yours item. They cannot delete the item. You have properties of that item in that game forever and ever until you sell it and so forth. So that I can wrap my head around. What I could not wrap my head around, I'm trying to wrap my head around that right now. But what I could not wrap my head around is why are these ape coins and these not ape coins, but why these NFTs are being sold for such a big mess of money right now. And people said, "Oh, NFTs are gonna go down," but nothing is going down.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a slot because it's not a chart that goes up and down. It's like eBay, you buy and you sell. But the thing and out of that information, that data, they try to figure out whether the coins are being popular or not. And there might definitely be some kind of slower times than and some more bullish and euphoric times. But overall, the way I see it, there is no crash in the NFTs space. Yeah, I mean, how we're gonna crash, some images on some game. I mean, that's totally different, right? But also these images that are being sold for millions and millions, they're not crashing either, because as long, because tomorrow can somebody come and buy your image for 2 millions, and again, price is up there, right? So
Yeah.
can you explain to me the reasoning behind why are some of these NFTs being sold for so much money?
Yeah, let let's take the go back to the community. I will give you two good example, I believe.
Yeah.
So why are people buying property in Manhattan? In downtown Manhattan.
Because somebody's gonna come and want to buy it from them, and they wanna be, big show offs. Look at me, I'm, top of the building.
I'm the big buy.
Yeah,
I understand. It's because like if you downtown Manhattan, you have certain advantages from the other people. You
yeah.
have a shorter way to job. You have a helipad on the top of your skyscraper. Great view. Blah blah blah. Um, and if you live downtown in Manhattan, you probably get a good Amex card. Uh, I'm just giving it. So that is why one reason why the board ape are so popular, because you are able to join the community and get the news, you get the information instantly. That's how you get the leaked white paper for ApeCoin. You understand?
I
That's
understand.
valuable. That's valuable.
Okay.
And then another type of liquid of NFTs. So if you are out in the DeFi space and being liquidity provider on a decentralized exchange. So if you provide liquidity now on Uniswap 3, you actually get an NFT.
You do?
Uh,
Okay.
that is a certificate that you have put, let's say, $100,000 for this and $100,000 for that coin. And before, if I wanted to, let's say, hand this liquidity over to you, I had to sell both pair. I got exposed for impairment loss, and then I had to send it to your wallet and pay gas fee a lot. Now I can just take this NFT. It represents a certain amount of liquidity in the liquidity pool, and I can just transfer the token to your wallet, and all those funds put into liquidity are giving to you. And so, what is the value of this NFT? Well, certainly, if you have, let's say, you do two pairs, USDC and DAI. This is pegged to dollar.
Yeah.
But it generates, let's say, a week, $50. I'm just saying a number. So basically, I'm selling to you an JPEG that generates $50 a week. That also has value.
That also has value. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I can
and
definitely see that.
Yeah, and the third last one, maybe more, let's see, close to us deadly people. That is tickets for let's say a music artist tickets. So the industry is like now that you have a record label, you have a marketing crew, you have a venue, you have a booking manager, and blah blah blah, like this.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody wants a cut of the ticket sales.
Yeah.
Basically, what you can do now is that you can, as a venue, you can create tickets to a concert. Let's say you book Justin Bieber for the sake of it.
Mm.
and and you can sell the tickets, and if you don't reach your budget that to cover a cost, you can actually cancel the concert, and all the funds will get automatically refunded to the people who bought the ticket. That's one thing. Secondly, you can put into the smart contract that so if you are booking Justin Bieber, you will see people like Ticketmaster. They are selling. You have a black market of ticket sales, and that's a huge problem because there is a bunch of guys who buy up all the tickets, and then they sell it out on a secondary market, which doesn't benefit the venue or the artist at all. But with an NFT NFT ticket, there is a smart contract that regulates this, so they can either say, "Oh, this ticket is not possible to sell. It's not possible to give it to another wallet," or if there is a secondary market sold, at least 20% of this profit, this amount, is going to the venue.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's impossible to create fake tickets.
Yeah, that sounds all good, and I can definitely see that. But I was hoping we were going to get into money laundering and money laundering and art, but it's okay. I accept the answer. I definitely see the big.
Of course.
No,
I'm
no,
not.
I definitely see the big use case of
Mm,
NFTs and the value in them, and especially I like the thing that you talked about. You know, you are part of the community, and you get all kind of goodies when you actually own an ape. Because I hear all the time about the moon. You know, he owns an ape. Crypto owns an ape, and I
mm.
know these guys and other guys that own an ape. They are like
Yeah, they
like
think
this.
it. And
So
when it comes to this, let's say money laundering thing, so of course, money laundering is illegal, but buying and selling NFTs, which are taxed like the way they are done now, it's actually legal. You know, if you have mined 2,000 Ethereum, you don't want to pay capital gains on it. Okay, so buy an NFT for it instead. That is very, very expensive, and you get it deducted from your
yeah.
income tax. Uh, uh, Keeps up. Wow, you got some really cool guys in your chat.
Yeah, they want to know, certain stuff. So maybe we can take
Yeah,
a couple of
let's
questions
go.
from
Let's
the
go.
chat. Uh, yeah, let me see. Where are I right?
And I have some people in mind as well. I actually got two chats.
Yes, ask about the land in the game,
Hmm.
the alpha game. Where can he buy it? The site, what's it called?
Um, then you have to go to my Twitter profile, and you will see all the information available out there now.
Okay, so
We
guys,
have,
go to his Twitter profile to find about the game. And there is another good question. Any other NFT project that right now had great potential?
wow. So others. Let's see. I'm just gonna the other side meta. That's the Twitter account that is releasing the information now for this mint on
Other side meta. Okay.
yeah, on Saturday. And they also have a quite good explanation how to go about doing it. It's gonna be a Dutch auction. Uh, um, so me personally now, I think that the NFT space evolving at Cardano now, there are a lot of good projects popping up there, and they have, let's say, more feasible prices to get into. Because on Ethereum now, you're seeing project, minting cost 2.5 Ethereum is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just to, yeah.
But that also,
Uh,
yeah, but minting price also gives some kind of value to the starting price of the NFT. Yeah.
Exactly, but you have to also understand that the minting price is also what funds the project, unless it's a rug.
Okay.
So the money goes to the smart contract that mints your NFT, and it's the contract owner who has access to those funds.
Okay.
There are so much fun going on Cardano. It might get a little bit technical, but on Cardano you have the possibility to do what's called side chains. There are NFT projects writing their white papers now that will utilize NFTs on side chains chain on Cardano. So I won't go and say that. And for now, that project is awesome. You have to get one. I recommend everybody to do their own research, because I don't know, late adopter, what community you like to hang around. You, I don't know if it's what kind of liquidity pair.
I don't have any allegiance to anything,
Yeah, yeah,
literally
but you
nothing.
have
I
to
follow the
understand.
money.
Mm,
I follow, actually I follow the chart.
you
Chart is
follow the
following
charts.
liquidity, and that's where I'm going. I'm
Mm,
really not into it. That's why I'm saying, I like that there are some guys that can, pinpoint me in the right direction about stuff, because I don't have time to do research. So there's the
mm.
thing.
So,
So I would like to say that I'm, in the crypto space, but am I actually in the crypto space? Because I only look at the chart. So technically, I'm only in like TI space.
nah, no, 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 no. Then you are all wrong, because I believe there are certain coins that you prefer to trade and some coins you don't trade.
Well, there is of course coins that have high volatility versus coins that don't have high volatility. There is that, but and there might be some coins that are when Bitcoin goes up 1%, some coins go up 1%, but other coins go up 10%, right? So
Correlation.
yeah, correct. But for traders, that comes to down, wherever the volatility is, that's where we are. And this volatility can change from coin to coin. You know,
Mm.
during one period, certain amount of coins can have decent volatility, and then totally die out, and then it switches. So I don't have allegiance to anything.
But perhaps
But my community
when
likes, I
you
think, Cardano, uh, Cardano space.
yeah. But by the way, when we come back to TA and trading and stuff like that, maybe you can help me out a little bit, because
Yeah,
you
you want
see,
to talk about the bot you're making?
yeah, because I have I might put myself a little bit underwater, but I have started this project in our community, along with the Norwegian exchange, that we have a trading competition going on, and we're gonna set up a bot, and there's gonna be a competition there, and we have the trading pairs is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, which I have decided for my strategy, um, and basically what I need to tell this bot is like, what kind of market condition are we in? Are we in a downtrend? Are we in the sideways moving trend? And in the future, you were talking about levels. We have the possibility to stop the bot and change strategy uh, down the line. Can you let's roughly give me a little bit help, so I can so I don't get beaten too bad?
Yeah. But before I do that, can you talk a little bit more about this bot? Is it bot you guys are programming for this competition, or what is it?
Yeah, you will find a lot of information on Kryptovaluta Norge and the YouTube channel. But basically, what I can say is there is a trading bot called Margin. It's a client. We set something you install on your computer, so you don't sell your information to third parties and stuff like that. And it's
Okay.
talking directly to the exchange. And there is a Norwegian exchange called nbx.com, and and this trading bot is one of the oldest, I mean really oldest. It was created back in 2014, so that's why we went along this road.
Okay, I'll share my screen. I'll tell you what I think about the coins. But we
Oh,
talked
thanks,
a little bit
thanks.
before, and you know what I said. You know what I said about. Let's see here. Share. And I have to change this right now, like this over here, so people can see my stuff. There we
Yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah.
So you want to know about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, what
Mm-hmm.
kind of trend they are in. So the first thing we're gonna go over here on the daily. I don't know. Do you know how often your bot trades? Does it trade every hour? Does it trade every day once? Does it trade like 200 trades per day?
I can set the amount of trade it does So I can make it go down all the way to 5 minutes or 1 minute short.
Yeah,
But
because
I'm not going there. I'm thinking maybe maximum looking at 30-minute short or and 4 hour short.
maximum or minimum.
Minimum, sorry,
Okay,
minimum
minimum
30
4 hours
minutes
shot.
and
Yeah.
maximum 4 hour short.
Okay.
That's my basic idea.
Yeah. So the thing with your basic idea, the 4 hour chart and the 30 chart, they change too quickly. So the
Mm-hmm.
trend that you find on the 30-minute chart and the 4 hour chart, they change you way too quickly. And over here, we can see, for example, the latest. Right now, we are in a downtrend over here. Although we did break a little bit downtrend, the downtrend still continues. So when it comes to trend lines, it's very easy. You find all of these pivot points on top side up here, pivot points, and then you try just to draw the line. Imagine you have a plank on top of it. You're just trying to make it fit on all of as many points as you can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So over here we can see that there is definitely some kind of trend line up here going on over here, but it doesn't hit it that many times. You want trend lines to be hit as much as possible because that shows respect on the trend line. So you can see down here, maybe down here is something a little bit better trend line. Although the trend,
I like the way you say that. It shows respect for a trend line.
yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are looking for the respect when we are drawing the lines. We are looking for how much is it getting hit, and it is totally normal and perfectly fine to drawing trend lines through the trend. Often people think that you have to take the wicks on the top, and that's not the case. Doesn't really matter. But this trend over here that's been going on since 29th March, and right now it's almost a month times. So this trend over here, it's been going in 2-3 phases. The first phase is down here, where it was going a little slower, and then over here it decreased the speed towards downside. So there is a secondary trend line right over here going something like this up here. Secondary trend line. So you can see right now over here it increases the speed towards the downside. So just because we already had established one trend line over here, it increased speed towards downside. Here we broke that trend over here, we retested that trend, and we went continue going towards upside. So this trend over here got broken over here. So this trend lasted from 6th April all the way to 18th April, so almost 2 weeks or something like that. So you can see on the 4-hourly time frame, you can already see that the trends can change pretty quickly. This is like 2 weeks trend, right? And it will continue going towards the upside, but it hit this large, the start of this trend up here over here, hit some kind of resistance up here, it got rejected by that, went down, and it hit it up here as well. So this bigger trend line over here on the 4-hour time frame is still in full effect. But you can see that we have a lot of these, candles up here, and technically we got too many candles to be drawing on this chart over here on 4-hourly. So that's why we always go, use time frames and try to, make the, zoom in and zoom out because it's easier to see. Every time you got every time you got too many, candles on the screen, it's really difficult to, adjust, which tops and bottoms you're going to use. How do you find trend? It can be easy to see some kind of trends, generally some kind of general trends. But if you want to be precise and find, on the dollar when the price is hitting something or not hitting something, when we are gonna, you want to use the wicks on top side. You want to generally have, decent amount of candles that you can actually see. But it's
So basically, what you're telling me that for the bot, I maybe should consider using a daily chart. So as I avoid, I will
because if you
avoid
use small time frames, you got to change the trend way too often. That's the thing. Okay, so over here you can see that we start having one trend over here, and of course there was also support line down here. We had one trend, and we changed the trend towards downside, and we don't actually know. Technically, there are several trends over here inside. Over here, there's also one trend, but we got to go some kind of 15-minute chart up here to see that trend up here in the 15-minute chart. You can see. So the more you zoom in, the more often you have to readjust your trends, so which makes the entire thing very difficult, right? And then after this move towards downside, there is another trend up here, right? There's big trend, but oftentimes you start having this pulls to the downside. So the trend changes just too often as soon as you go into the small time frames. So the best thing, the way I see it, would be to go to the daily time frame because it's easier to generate trend. So if you tell the bot, okay, we are right now on our way towards upside on a larger trend, the bot will figure out, that probability towards upside is greater. So I should, do more trades towards the upside. And it's a lot easier to follow the trends because on the daily time frame and especially the weekly time frame, very, very important levels, because on the weekly time frame, number one, although you can lose a lot of money when it goes against the trend over here, especially if you do small trades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you have to see how, but generally weekly time frames do tend to run for trends run for a lot longer. This over here ran from November all the way up to the January. So you get a couple of months up here where the trend actually runs towards downside. So right now, I wouldn't suggest 4 hours because I think the trend just changes too much. It depends on how precise do you want to be, right? But oftentimes you don't have to be very precise when it comes to trends and bots. If you just want to tell them, the direction is going, you just you just see some kind of, you just see some kind of pivot points up here, pivot point, pivot. All of these are pivot points, pivot point, pivot point, pivot point. And these are the most important. All of this is, if you just want to get the general trend, it's very easy. All of these are pivot points up here. All of these are pivot points. So any kind of, all of these three together, all of these three on the downside. So when drawing any kind of trend, you can see these pivot points. You can just, wait. You can just draw the line. You can immediately see it down here that it was following that and tried to get up, and here broke the trend, continue towards the upside. So it's very easy to draw certain trends on the chart very very easily by looking only on the pivot points without actually doing anything very very precise. But you just want to find the trend. Then it's all about these trend lines. You don't have to look at moving averages or anything like that. It's just about trend lines.
It's so cool that you just draw something that would probably take me a whole day in 30 seconds. That's awesome. Yeah. Well,
so right now, the way we are looking at right now, like we said in the stream also, that right now Bitcoin is down. How much is it down right now? Right now it's down like 5-6%, but it is sitting at some kind of support on the bottom side. So we are not quite sure
whether there's something on the weekly channel and daily that you see. What do you call it? Respects at the bottom.
Respect at the bottom. Yeah. So this is the weekly time frame, but it's not being respected that much. There was another line down here, I think. This again, so we think it's something like this on the weekly time frame. Something like this on the weekly time frame. You can see that it is right now we are sitting on that, or even breaking that on the downside. So this trend over here is getting is soon to be broken, or is getting broken, or trying to broke, but we don't actually know where it's going to be broken until we actually get our candle close on the downside.
Yeah,
this is a daily time frame.
It might end up like a long tail, right?
Yeah, like a long tail. This also over here, or this also over here right now, it's been a long downtrend. So when we went down here, we are pretty confident down here that we are hitting some kind of support on the bottom side, and what we need was some kind of bullish momentum towards upside, but we went just a little bit up, got rejected up here, and that's why we started talking about the emergency, because this is actually a very bad move, because we have been at these levels before. On the downside, we started going a little bit up, got rejected by the very important levels, and started going on the downside again. And we said down here, if you start going up here, we cannot go right back down, because that's going to be very, very bearish momentum. And why is it bearish? Because the bulls don't have even the power to push the price a little bit above the resistance over here, right? So this trend over here, of course, only thing you have to know is the pivot points. So you just draw, you just draw a kind of line in certain direction. And right now over here, this move up here is still in some kind of falling trend on the downside, right? And the way trend changes, I can just explain to you very very fast before we go over to Cardano and Ethereum, and show you what I think. The way trends change, once trend changes, meaning you break the trend, it doesn't mean it's going to go towards the upside. It means that trend changes. We don't know how the trend is going to go. We only know that the trend changes. So this down move over here changes. That means that it can continue going something like this, it can continue going something like this, it can continue going something like this. So what we are looking for after this move up here is some kind of new pivot point up here, and then we are drawing new trend line, right? And then maybe it does something like this, right? Then it breaks that, and maybe then we draw another trend line. But we don't have to use this pivot point. Right now we have this pivot point, so there are several pivot points. So trend lines always changes as the price goes and breaks the trend line. So looking for the break of the trend line is very important, because it creates new pivot points. Pivot points gives you a new direction for where the price is going to go, and so forth, so forth. But it does not change the trend. So analyzing what the trend is after the breakout, we still in it, because you can technically be in downtrend, and you can continue in the downtrend just in a different speed. So this is one speed, this is second speed. When you break in trade, we also say a lot of time that you change the speed the speed of the trend once you go in certain direction, right? So over here right now we are technically in a downtrend. We have been in a very fast downtrend down here. You can see here this was the first downtrend until we broke the downtrend, and then we created this pivot point up here. This pivot point is still what we call lower low or something like that. So you are technically still in a downtrend over here as well. So only way we are not in a downtrend is we start creating what these pivot, when these pivot points start going higher and higher, and that we create higher highs of these pivot points, and then you change the trend towards the upside. But right now,
can I just ask you one question? So regards, you talked about speed, like when it's going falling down, or
so
from a technical analysis, how do you interpret that a coin goes very fast down versus maybe just a slow slope?
Okay, so we got something called moving averages, for example, up here. Okay, first of all, you can see on the chart if it goes something like this, it goes fast.
yeah.
Okay. So, but it goes slowly, it goes slower. If it goes something like this, it goes, very slow. So that's one way to do it. The other thing is watching for example, different time frames. Over here, we see on the daily time frame, and we got moving averages. Moving averages are very important to show also support and resistance on the chart. But if you, we're gonna turn off some of these moving averages. This is 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 moving averages. So we're gonna turn off a couple of these moving averages up here, and I'm gonna turn on moving averages. What we're gonna see is the same thing we are looking when we are looking on the trend lines. Is we are trying to see which moving average has the most respect. So you can see here 10 moving average up here. Although it is being followed, it does break a lot of times, right? This 20 moving average, it is being followed, but it does shows also a lot of respect. Even on the breakout up here is above it, right back below it, it shows respect, right? All of these moves where you see the price, even this move, breakout right back down again below the support, that shows respect. So when we are looking at different time frames, doesn't matter whether that's a 4-hourly time frame or daily time frame. We're looking which moving average is showing the respect on the line, And over here, for example, on the 4-hour time frame, a 50 moving average can be interpreted as a good respect. So how do we know if we are in a fast drop or a slow drop down here? So down here on the moving averages, for example, let's take this drop on the downside. You'll see that this drop gets rejected by the 20 moving average a lot. You can see here it goes up, here it goes sideways, hits 20 moving average, get rejected. Goes up, hits sideways, gets hit 20 moving average, and hits. Goes down up here, gets above the 20, but right below 20. So it's still below 20 up here, but every time it's being a reject on the downside. These are big reject. This is over here holding some kind of support while the moving average is hugging it, and then it got rejected on the downside. But getting rejected by certain moving averages tells you a little bit of speed. If you are on the 4-hourly and you're getting rejected by maybe 50 moving average, let's find up here is a 50 moving average. So it is a drop, but it's a slow drop, right? So the faster moving average it gets rejected by, the faster the drop goes. So if you are, for example, you have 10 moving average up here, and this, 10, I don't think anything gets, rejected by 10. Yeah. Let's see here, up here. It climbs on the 10 moving average, maybe on the 20 moving average as well. Yeah, 20 and 10 moving average are so close, maybe 20 and 50 moving average. So you can see here, for example, on 20 moving average, that's the red line. You can see it's climbing on the 20 moving average. So this trend towards the upside is pretty steep. Now, there are other times where you climb on the 50 moving average, not so fast, right? Let me try to find an example of that. Maybe down here. So you can see here, this move towards the upside up here is climbing this red line, this 20 moving average. So this is a pretty steep climb towards the upside. But you can see here, this drop on the downside is hitting this 50 moving average all the time, right? So the drop down here is not as fast as this, climb up here on 20 moving average. So this went a lot faster towards the upside. This going slowly towards downside because this 20 moving average, so forth, so forth. Now, this is one way to, find the trend. So on the daily time frame, we got certain moving averages up here, and if you just look at, for example, 200 moving average, it's very, very hard to figure out the trend out of the 200 moving average. 100 moving average can tell you, once you are below it, it can tell you that you are in some kind of a downtrend or a little bit bearish. Above the 100 moving average can tell you that you are bullish. You can see here these very nice breaks on the downside. So going above the 100 moving average can tell you something about, that right now the trend is bullish. Going below 100 can tell you the trend is bearish. Over here, this is why we have problem. Also, one of the problems with Bitcoin is we broke the 100 moving average, but right back down again and became bearish, right? And over here, tried to get up and it got rejected again. And right now, again on the downside, going on the downside. So moving averages as well, using moving averages tell you a little bit about trend. If you're, for example, above 50 moving average, you might be in an option. But overall, you got to use, both of the things to actually determine the trend. So right now, the way we see it, Bitcoin over here, the way we see Bitcoin is Bitcoin was in a very large, very fast, very steep downtrend here on the weekly time frame. And that actually got broken up here. So over here, we started going sideways, but we create a new pivot point up here on the top. Technically, we create 1, 2 pivot points up here on the top. But this pivot point up here, it goes something like this up here. And you can see that right now, that we managed to break that pivot, that trend line as well, and create a new trend line up here. And the new trend line up here goes something like this. So right now, technically, what we have is this kind of trend that goes kind of sideways. It's not steep trend, it's not fast, but it's still overall in a big picture a downtrend. Now, if we do break this trend line on the downside, we go back to this trend over here. We do break the trend on downside, we go back to this trend over here. We are not going under the trend, we are going above the trend. So we are looking for some kind of, bottom down here again at 24,000, right? If we break the trend. So trends can be broken, towards upside, towards downside, it does change a lot of times. But on the daily time frame, it's just about the lines, For me,
So basically, you can say that. So if we fall down now from this trend line that you just wrote, then I can set the bot in a downward mood.
Yeah.
But if we keep it and respect it, as you told me,
Yeah.
then we are in a sideways movement, and I can set the bot for ping pong, what it's called. And then if we break above this line, we can put it in a bullish mode. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
And see down here, there is a lot of support on the downside on here, over here. So this line is what everybody's looking right now. So right now it looks like we are gonna break. I don't know. We cannot never know whether it's gonna break it or not until this candle is closed and we see the break on the downside. But we were already sensing the bearishness, because it just gets rejected by everything. Every time it goes up, major resistances get rejected on the downside. So that's why we're looking. Even though we are at support right now, it can easily break towards the downside. But these horizontal lines, we got a lot of horizontal lines that are, telling us something about, support levels and resistance levels and so forth. But it's not as important as a trend. So, you just take it up here and you say, like, when it comes up here, when it comes above this line up here, it's bullish. If it and until then, it's still in some kind of downtrend. Very easy, right? You don't become bullish until it breaks the trend, because technically right now it is just getting rejected. It started up here, rejected, right? It's getting rejected on the downside, so it needs to break the trend. So this downtrend over here right now needs to break, and right now this short-term downtrend is actually playing out to the downside. And once it breaks this downtrend up here, it will create some kind of pivot point. That pivot point will be some kind of line up here, and we'll see if it goes something like that, or maybe it breaks that resistance as well. That that secondary trend towards upside continues towards upside, and then we go to 100,000. But right now, short term up here, we are definitely in some kind of downtrend, and that downtrend has got rejected over here. So we are pretty much confident. And down here, there was also a very important level of support. That's right now being broken on the downside as well. So everything right now points in downward direction. That's Bitcoin. So let me just do quickly on the Ethereum and the Cardano as well. And you'll see that these three coins are very correlated with each other. Sometimes they are not, but these major moves are usually very correlated. So short term up here, you can see here that we are in the short term. This everything was on daily time frame, and on the daily time frame, this still looks like a downtrend, right? Rejection, it still goes down. So until we do some move above the line up here, nothing is going to happen. It's just going to continue bleeding on the downside. Every time it tries to go up, it might get rejected or not. Bigger trends up here as well. This still on daily time frame up here. We got this trend up here. So maybe we are seeing some kind of, I didn't even see this, maybe seeing some kind of, because you can see this trend over here. and then we increased the speed towards downside. Right now we came up here, we broke the trend towards upside, and right now, like we said earlier, once a certain trend is broken, it just changes the direction and the speed. So this, it was going down, so maybe it's going down a little, differently right now, right? So you can see here, it broke the trend up here. Right now, it's still going down, but it's going down differently. Now, if you want any kind of bullishness out of this trend up here, it needs to break the trend line towards upside. But you can see this trend line right now that's been acting as a resistance up here. If you break it on downside, it's going to be acting as, but right now it's acting as a support. But if you break it, it's going to act as a resistance again. So, breaking the trend lines, that this happens very often, especially if you look at 30 minutes at 4-hourly time frame, because you cannot find the trend on the 30 and 4-hourly time frames. If you just want to, program the bot and let it run, then you gotta figure out long-term moves, and then tell
so I have this guy, Mr. Fighter, in my chat here at Kryptovaluta. He said 5 red candles on the weekly on Bitcoin. Last time this happened was in 2018, and not even the Corona dip did this. Are you considering stuff like that when you are?
Yes, exactly. So what he's talking about here is 5 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. So this is only statistically probability that we are going to get a green candle. We definitely got support down here. We are still talking about this support, and although it is emergency and we are thinking price might go down, this is still some kind of support on the downside down here. We also got horizontal supports right below us up here. We got a really good support on the downside. There is also certain trend lines up here that are indicating very nice support on the downside down here. So, right now we are testing that support level. Now, also considering that we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles in a row, statistically speaking, a green candle must happen. Now, this is not.
It's like roulette. Huh? You put it on the red. God damn it! Got losing the 5 times. You have to hit the.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. There is something to it, but we do not know, because you can get a 6 and a 7, and then on 8 you get the thing. But statistically, the probability increases the more you get, because if you look at statistically over the history of Bitcoin, you see that this doesn't happen that often. Right. One of the times that I said Bitcoin has to go up, for example, was down here, and you'll see here on the weekly time frame. Monthly time frame. Where is it? Monthly time frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 6 months in red, and this I don't think this has ever happened before. I don't remember quite. But when I'm going down here, we are calling for some kind of green candle just based on statistics that it has to go up like 6 months. 6 months in a row. Yeah.
Do something.
Do something. Yes. So there is definitely something to it, but it's not because we know that statistics, schmatistics, or whatever it's called. I know. Yeah, but statistically, probability is high for a green candle, but this isn't roulette or mathematics. It's a human emotion, so you can definitely get a couple of tools and then say, but statistically now it's we should get a green candle. So there is something there, but it's not very. The most important thing, like we said, is trend lines. Trend lines are the most important thing in to seeing where the trend goes, and the way you do that is just looking at these pivot points. Like wherever you find these pivot points, it's very easy to join kind of line, and then you see where the trend. And once that trend breaks, this line is still in effect. Once trend breaks, you need to keep this line down here, because later it might go something like this, and then it might fall down, below some line. This line will right now act as a resistance, because support, because over here it was acting as a resistance, but right now that's going back down, it's going to act support. So resistance lines, support lines, once you have a resistance line, you break that, it acts as support, and so forth, vice versa. So right now, Bitcoin is a downtrend, and Ethereum is on a downtrend over here as well. But you can see here it is also just like Bitcoin sitting on some kind of support on the downside. There's probably other lines up here that I'm not looking at right now, but it might be some kind of falling wedge up here, whatever. But if you want to change the trend, it needs to change the trend towards the upside. Right now, if it breaks this on the downside, it might increase speed towards downside, create a new steeper trend on the downside. So if you see price dropping suddenly and then goes up, creates a new pivot point, then you can basically do like create new steeper trend on the downside, and it goes down. So Ethereum as well.
Basically, the boat just took in a little bit more water.
yeah. And Cardano is doing the exactly same thing right now over here, because a lot of these coins are really nicely correlated with each other. Short-term trend up here, very easily. And you don't have to do this very often. This is this is 50 April, so this once every 2 weeks you gotta make new lines and see whether the lines are getting broken or not. But basically that's the most important thing when you find trend. That's the trend lines up here, right? You can also see quite quickly there is some kind of trend up here going, something like this up here. You don't even have to be that specific. Like some of the very good traders, they don't try to figure out exactly on the dollar where the bottom is. But they see there is support. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna short. But you can see
It's
also
because
here right now we're going back to that support level down here.
Yeah, because they, let's say you say that you find some support line, they just start dollar cost averaging all the way
Yeah,
down. That's just
there might be that. There might be
and
that.
then they start selling out on the way up.
Trading, there is a lot of
God.
betting on certain support lines. So over here we get a nice support line. There's a lot of betting on this support line is gonna hold, right? So they start going long on the support line. They are betting technically that it's gonna hold, but they don't know. Probability, we might talk about probability, this bullish, this bearish, which has more probability, but you're basically betting whether the support is gonna hold or support is gonna break on the downside, right? If it breaks, you just close your position and that's that, right?
Yeah. So basically, the trend is your friend to the end.
The trend is your friend till the end. Yes, exactly. So over here right now, we got a short-term trend. We got this bigger trend up here. It got broken. You can see here, it got broken. We got a new pivot point up here. There is a new trend up here below. See these pivot points on the downside. They are also creating some kind of line up here. You can see the line down here. Also very corresponds nicely with these points up here. Maybe it's a little bit. Let's see up here, because this is maybe something like this, because this pivot point as well looks like very important. So sometimes you can go just through that, but it is give or take some kind of trend up here as well. So maybe right now we are hitting this support up here. We're gonna bounce. We're gonna come back to this support as well. But short term, for your bot, this is too far back down, right? So you zoom in and you see 20, 30 candles or something like that, trying to figure out what kind of trend we have right now. Right now it's in downtrend. So everything, as you see right now, it's in some kind of downtrend. Cardano, Bitcoin, and as long as this trend and everything, like Cardano, Ethereum, what is Ethereum up here? Ethereum as well. Let me just pull the line up here. Ethereum has the same line, and Bitcoin has exactly the same line right now. This is the downtrend right now that's pushing us down, especially after this rejection up here. That's also, I think, 20 moving average. You can see 20 moving average up here, following the trend line as well. Oftentimes you'll see correlation between the moving averages and trend lines. So this trend line up here and up here, we getting rejected by those on the downside. So until we get it back above the trend line up here, probably the 20 moving average as well, nothing's gonna change. We are technically still in a downtrend, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Wow. Well, oh my God. Thanks.
Yeah, now I understand why I do YouTube. Now I understand why I do YouTube, TI, because I can talk, day and night about this.
Yeah,
So
we are normally we just do a 1 hour live stream here in for the Norwegian community, but this is so valuable information and so cool to do. So I'm just rolling with it, guys.
So oh wait, I have to change this like this. Oh, there we go. Back to the big screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about a little bit everything. I think we're gonna end it here. Do you think about that? Yeah, it's been a
it was awesome. It's so cool. We have to do this again, man. This is fun.
Yeah,
I can
but
bring
we're gonna be a
the
little bit.
alphas and you can do the TA.
Yeah, but we're gonna be a little. Next time we do collaboration, we're gonna do a specific topics. So because right now we are all kind of all over the place. So we're gonna find something to talk to. We're gonna talk about that for 30 minutes, and that's gonna be it. Because that's what people like. Right now it's all over the place, but it's good. It's first time. It's my first time. I lost my virginity on the street. So there's that.
Lost the virginity now dual stream. Yeah.
There was that. So we talked
How
about.
was it? How was it?
It was good.
Me too.
I think I'm gonna try again. Anyways, Ken, it was nice to have you here, and to all my audience, like, this guy is definitely worth to follow if you know Norwegian. I think he probably gonna go over to English. I don't think he's gonna go over to English, but I like the guy. He knows a lot about lots of stuff, so I thought we could chat about things.
Yeah, and for you guys in the Kryptovaluta Norge, our community, we had just a awesome good demonstration of TA here. It's like this guy's on fire when it comes to drawing trend lines and looking at moving averages.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I'm not even close to do like that.
It's okay. That's why we fulfill each other. You
Mm,
tell me what coin is good, and I'll tell you which direction it goes.
yeah. Oh, that's a good plan, man. I like it already.
There we go. I got my skills, you got your skills. Because a company is not never a one guy. Companies like thousand different people know thousand different things.
Mm.
That's how the company grows. That said, Ken, thanks you for stopping by.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you, the late adopter, and
Yeah.
for letting me in on your community that you got there in the chat. I am looking at the comments all the way, and then there's a lively, cool gang going on there, having a
Yeah.
good time, and thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon on the live stream. I will.
I will probably live stream again after this, guys. Guys, I will probably live stream after this because Bitcoin is down -6%. Something is happening. And
Oh,
we are having a daily close in 2 hours. Sorry, three and a half hours. It is kind of far away, 3.5 hours. But I will definitely maybe live stream because this is an emergency, and we like emergency here on TA.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
I will sit and make some noise in the chat and pay closely attention.
yeah.
So
Ken,
with that,
you guys can find Ken. There is a link down below for his YouTube channel. He's also on Twitter as well. So
mm,
do check him out. And thanks everybody for joining in and watching the show. This was fun.
thank you. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.